Hello there, members of the Wednesday night EDAP 690 class, teaching with multimedia authoring tools. Well, there's a mouthful. This is just an introductory video, but you will receive these videos every Friday before the next class. You will go ahead and you will receive a Friday video this coming week as well. This video is just a hello and to kind of show you where things are so you can be familiar with things so that when we meet on Wednesday night, we can get right down to the business of having class. You are looking at the Blackboard space for our class. When you go to it, by default, it lands you right here in the course description and syllabus. As you can see, the course description talks to you about taking a journey of understanding with Richard Mayer and his book. You do have a book, Multimedia Learning 2nd Edition. You will need this book. There's no way around getting it. I would strongly urge you to get it through Amazon, although you can get it through the bookstore. You'll get it for half the cost through Amazon. We will also be looking at something called TPAC. We will also be looking at something called digital storytelling. This is the fun part of this class. We will be doing a lot of digital storytelling stuff. As you can see, this is the current syllabus right here. I will have paper copies for you on Wednesday. Students tell me all the time they like having the paper so they can write on it, and I sincerely understand that. If you'll look here on the left, this is where things are. You're seeing everything because I'm seeing everything, so just ignore things below where it says tools here. And as you can see, below syllabus are the modules. We'll look at that here in just a second. The collaborate is if you're needing to take the class in a hybrid mode. In other words, you're taking it in a distance ed version. This is how you will interface with our class in a synchronous position. In other words, you will be there at the same time the class is going on. These recordings are the recordings of the class. If you can't make it to class, you feel free to use these. But if you are taking the class, if you're not taking the class, I should say, in distance ed, please don't try to get around it by just watching the recordings. As good as the recordings are, I still think being there in person, you can't beat it. But let's go ahead and look at these modules because I want you to see. I use the term modules because that's the term that Blackboard likes to use. It's their term, not my term. I would much prefer to call this project-based learning, PBL. And so look at these as not just as a module, but as your project for the time that we were together. And as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, quite a lot of them, 4, some are very fleshed out, others are not, 5, 6, 7, 8, and our hat. If you want to think of it as a project, that's 9. Notice that for each one of the listings here in Blackboard, it basically has the class number associated with it. As you can see, your hat, quote unquote, your final, will be done. You'll be given 2 class times to get it finished. And I think that you will find that that's more than enough time. Others, as you can see, our Module 8 here also takes 2 class periods to get it finished. And the reason why we're doing this is because what I want you to be able to do is to relax and know that you can do this work in class with your classmates around you to provide any kind of support or help that you might need. I hope that on some of these, in fact, I will try to sort of push us into them, that we will work together, like creating an audio story. We could go into groups and write a story together that we then record and use sound effects and music as well as our spoken word to build a really fascinating story. Others are very much just our own particular projects. This one, we'll be using a tool called Animoto, which builds beautiful music presentations that we'll be using. And then others, we'll be using other tools. I believe this one uses GoAnimate, another tool that we'll be very familiar with. And then, of course, one of my favorite tools, if you've ever had a class from me, is, of course, VoiceThread. We'll be using VoiceThread to illuminate Mayer's book. This will definitely be a distributive learning class where you will own a part of Mayer's principles for multimedia learning. I think you will find the class, oh yes, and we'll be visiting once again TPAC. For those of you who have never visited TPAC, don't let it scare you. It's one of those theoretical frameworks that we have to do because we're a university that's a research university. We'll also be creating a wiki. Again, those of you who have already done this, you can smile because you already know how to do it. If you've never done it before, nothing to worry about. It's very simple and very powerful. This will become your, shall we call it, your e-portfolio, your way of keeping track of everything that we create in class. So that's the modules. As I said, the syllabus is ready for you to read. I will have copies of it for you Wednesday night. I think you are going to really enjoy this class. I always get very high ratings from my students who have taken this class. They love the idea of using all these different tools and building things that they can personally use for their instruction, but it's also something they can use with kids to use for kids to create in their classrooms. And I cannot stress, you'll be given the time in class to work on these things. So I look forward to seeing all of you Wednesday night, 4:30. We will be in the ERTC. That's the room when you go up to the top of the stairs. You go right, then go left. You go into the computer lab rooms. If you will turn immediately to your right when you walk through the doors, 201E, which is our classroom, is right there on your right. And I'll be standing around outside showing everybody where to go. So if you see me standing there, give me a wave and a hug, and I will see you on Wednesday night, 4:30. Bye.